Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next anime review for Anime Month. And I got two. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. So I just want to review. Got two of the animes I'm going to be reviewing for my birthday today. So this one first, right here, we'll be talking about is an anime that I really do enjoy. I enjoy the story, the concept of it. And other things as well. So, and which I have right there. So today, I'll be reviewing for my birthday. So I'll be reviewing Parasyte, or as you would call it, but the other title, Parasyte the Maxim. So, but I'll just call it Parasyte for short. Now, Parasyte is from the manga series, which I do have the manga series, but I haven't fully read it though. But it's actually the manga that came out from it's an older manga series, like from late 80s up to the early 90s. Yeah, so this manga series is pretty old, so. And for the anime series, we released in late 2014 to the running time to later in 2015. So Parasyte, I really enjoy this anime series. Would I put it in my top list of favorite animes? Maybe, yeah, I would, because I really love Parasyte. Now, one of the things is animation is really well made. That's another good positive. The character, especially for our two leads, basically, are very solid, and everything else. I'll get to that in a second here, but the story behind it, it's like not original though, but still I enjoy the concept of the story and everything else that goes along with it. I do. Now the story of Parasyte, we have a high school guy by the name of Shinichi. This is regular average guy, right? You can say a little bit of the nerdy, because he has glasses, but till later throughout the series, how he goes into a major change throughout this whole series. So sort of being the nerd, but to like the not so nerd type of guy, right? But and then the whole thing is that because he's a regular average high school guy, and but until one night where this Parasyte, this unknown life form, infiltrates his arm, which was he was meant to go to his brain, but it ended up into his arm, and then ends up controlling of his right arm. And the parasites themselves, they're like unknown parasites, like you say, that they go up, so they enter through the nose or whatever. They take control of the person's brain. And takes control of the body, and they just start devouring human flesh. Basically, they start devouring humans. For which there's been a lot of slaughtering other people, which on the reports they call it the mincemeat murders. But because of Shinichi, he ended a parasite ending up in his right arm, which later he calls Migi, which is Japanese for right. And ever since then, throughout this whole entire series, this guy Shinichi, he's gone a huge transformation throughout this whole entire series. What his whole experience has done to him, especially mentally, right? And this is how it just goes from like that. Which this guy also has. This guy has suffered so much throughout this whole entire series. Like characters, I've watched, right? They go through a lot. They losing, whether it goes from losing loved ones or what the whole turn of events of this whole of a series has done to the character. I mean, this character Shinichi, he has gone through so much in this series. I was feeling so sorry for this guy. I mean, and also Parasyte kind of takes place. It kind of makes it. Well, one thing, Parasyte reminds me. It takes place. I think it was maybe when they made the manga I don't know if it was the idea though, but they kind of made it look a little bit like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You know, which one is a body snatcher, right? Kind of reminds you a bit of Invasion of the Body Snatchers in a way, and also a little bit of a superhero type of concept because our guy Shinichi has to keep his identity a secret, you know, for hiding Migi, right? Which also gives him like a little bit super strength or superpowers because even throughout the whole series, like he has abilities now to like jump high places and run a little bit more. So he does get a little bit of enhanced abilities, but also including with Migi as well throughout the whole series. So and he has to keep all this a secret from his friends and loved ones about this. You know, coming with excuses. Oh, hey, maybe this is I don't know. So, yeah, so it is a little bit superhero added to it. Also, / Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But Shinichi, like, with Migi, you know, Migi learning about who it is. Because Migi, since he's with Shinichi, right, he's his life force, right? He needs him to stay alive. And with Shinichi, you know, he considers one of the things about these parasites, you know, where he's trying to explain to Migi what is wrong, what is right and wrong, what humans, right, you know, don't kill this human, or it's, you know, considering all life is precious in a way. But Migi, he doesn't really care about it because all he cares about his own life. You know, it's like an animal instinct, right? Because he only cares about himself, protecting himself because he's connected to Shinichi, and that's his lifeline, basically. If Shinichi dies, Migi dies. So he's only basically at times he's out for himself, only doing it to protect himself. Yeah, it's not a way. He's doing it to try to protect himself, regardless of who gets in his way, whether he has to kill this person, whether it's good or bad or not. So he's doing this only just for survival. That's it's in for him. And he's learning about, you know, he was learning reading books and learning how to talk English. And there are times when he gets really tired, he goes a little bit of hibernation for a little bit of time. That's why where Shinichi just gets his hand back to normal. But the whole story throughout this whole thing is that it shows, you know, of course, throughout this whole series, it goes play on the concept of who's really the evil one here? Is it humanity, mankind? Are they the evil ones, or is it the parasites? Because it does play on the thing as, oh, since you think the parasites are bad because they're eating people, devouring people, right? Or you think it's or it's the other way around, since they're by the end they want to eliminate the parasites altogether. So it does bring the question of the whole thing is who's really good or bad, right? Is it the parasites that are bad, or is it humans are bad? So that's that part of the story that also takes, is it mankind is bad, or is it the other way around? And with Shinichi, and while she can keep all the secret, his, well, you could probably say girlfriend, right, Satome Murano, which is a girl that he really likes, and he likes her, though, and some people may complain about her, that she may be whiny or complaining a lot, you know, but, you know, what's always wrong with Shinichi, like, always saying, like, are you really Shinichi? Are you? Right? I can understand that part, but I probably likes about Murano, because she also goes through this whole thing with a lot with Shinichi, even though, for the most part, she doesn't know about Migi, though. Because she's always been so concerning of Shinichi's changes over the time, you know. You know, first, you know, he's always acting like, oh, you know, a little bit scared, though. But even to the point where there's a moment where he's acting all cold and distancing from her. Like, even to a point where, like, where there's this puppy that get hit by a car, right? And instead of like instead of burying, he just goes and throws it in the trash, right? And Murano sees it's like, how could you do that, you know, etc., right? That's not right. And is the point where she knows that he has changed so much, you know, from being what he used to be into being like a cold and distant person. So some people may complain about her though, but I see it the way because it's just how the way her relationship with Shinichi has been. So, but to me, I liked Murano. And there was also another girl that kind of had a crush on Shinichi as well. Her name is Kanna. She has kind of sort of like a little bit like psychic abilities, can predict things, what happens, as well. But to the point where until one day where her powers sort of like misled her, but also which eventually led to her death as well, because it kind of like misled her, and then one of the parasites actually killed her, and Shinichi, he was upset about it. And there was this other guy that kind of was like with Kanna and felt bad about it as well, because he was also a guy that was also picking on Shinichi as well, trying to fight him. But not anymore after that, ever since Kanna died. But Kanna also was a girl that I also liked. But it's sad that she got killed, though. But it was first, but going back to the relationship between Murano and Shinichi. Yeah, because people may complain about her always complaining and always whining, though. But I just, for how the way the story progressed, because how it was, the whole series, their relationship was being so strained because of Shinichi's bizarre, odd, or cold, distant behavior. So, but I did like that. But I guess by the end, he's always, but she always knew that he is still Shinichi. And as for Migi, I like the relationship between Migi and Shinichi has been, like I said, Shinichi, he's been, telling Migi, it's right or wrong, and even throughout the whole series, he's been, Shinichi's been doing a little narration, like, why were we born? Why were we created? And was all this, who's good and who's bad and all that. It's just, we were playing how the world is from his perspective. Which is also pretty interesting as well. And there was also no other parasites. He's been fighting. And it's very gory. It's very gory as well. It's a lot of blood, like even decapitations, people getting cut in half. A lot of blood in this. It is definitely a bloody anime. So it doesn't hold back on the gore on that, which is good. And then there's one interesting about the parasites. I always I like their designs, especially how when they transform with eyes and a stretchy skin with blades and all that. I like the design of the parasites. I thought they were very cool looking, and especially for one a parasite by the name of Reiko. Tamara. She's this very, very, very intelligent parasite. She's also doing experimenting and also trying to explain to Shinichi, how humans interact, right? Even the point where she's experimenting on herself, mating out with another parasite, and when she is pregnant, having given birth to this child, which is a human child. She's always asking what she do with this child. She either experiment. If it doesn't work out, she'll just kill it. But Shinichi knows that is wrong to do. And even to the point where towards the end, where the police were, because there was a reporter that was investigating this as well. Where the point when her family was where his family was killed. And that traumatized him so much, to the point he wanted revenge against her, because she's one who came to him first. So, but he was originally the target, not his family. So that broke him. So he kidnapped the baby, but ultimately he ended up getting killed because Tomorrow saved her baby instead. But it definitely changed her. Humanity has changed her. Especially with holding her baby. When the police were firing at her, she shielded her baby from harm. And then before dying, giving it to Shinichi. And that's the first time when Murano seen Shinichi cry, because before that, She hasn't seen him be very emotional or cry at all up until that point when Tomorrow died and holding the baby in his arms. So she knows that he is still Shinichi to her, since she saw him cry. And there was and also, like I said, Shinichi has gone through so much in this series. It's to the point where I'm sure people saw this coming though, but I was like, oh to the point where it was like, oh shit, right? It gave me an oh shit moment. Which again, people probably saw it coming though, but just for that scene is like, it was the point where all of a sudden Shinichi's mother gets decapitated by a parasite and takes over her body. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, that is fucked up. Pardon the language, but that's why I felt, especially when it decapitated her mom and then his mom and took over her body. And we're seeing when using his mom's face, and when see the face gets, when the parasite shows itself, stabs Shinichi on the verge of dawn, and to the point where he's already almost died. The whole thing what happened to his mother, that was, pardon me, but that was fucked up. Yeah, messed up. When I first saw when Papa behind her decapitated, I was like, oh shit, And then that definitely traumatized his father as well, because he saw what happened, but he didn't want to believe that. Well, he chose whether he believed it or not that was a monster that killed his wife. He did saw it though. He just had a hard time believing it what happened. So yeah, what happened with Shinichi's mother? That was messed up. And also to a point where he also meets another a guy who also has a parasite that hasn't been that didn't take over his body. I forget the character's name though, but he was a guy who got divorced. Either his wife left or divorced him. To the point he was trying to commit suicide, but he actually falls off a cliff because one of the parasites attacked him. And since he almost drowned, the parasite chose to save his life by digging into his throat area so he can breathe. And so it took over his both his throat and his chin part right here to talk to him. So this other guy, who also is like Shinichi, didn't get taken over by the parasite, but taken over this part right here to save his life. And then up to the point where towards the end of the series, there's this mega super mega parasite that's composed of many parasites together. What was the name of Gotoro? Yeah, Goto. And yeah, there was a Goto. The base of the strongest of the parasites that Shinichi has faced. Because there was also a point where the military, the police, they asked Shinichi for his help, right? Since he's the one who seems to know what these parasites are, since he's always one that's been around them, right? And also they have this serial killer who has also these kind of psychic powers because he can tell who's human and who's monster. This psychopathic mass murderer. I want to get this character's name. Yeah, I should probably do this, but I want to. Yeah, okay, Uragami. Yeah, Uragami. Yeah, he's a serial killer. Which actually I heard this guy's voice a couple of times in other animes. Named Andrew Love, who does for the English voice. Which I hear he's done. I heard he voiced he voiced the student council president of Miyabiga. I always keep on butchering up that name. Miyabiga Oka High in Maid-sama. Yeah, Maid-sama, he's the rich student council president. That he wanted he wanted Misa for himself and all that. Yeah, that's the guy who voiced the student council president, Miyabiga High. And I also heard his voice in "Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher?" as one of the students by the name of Suzuki. So, I recognize that voice. As this guy Origami who's a serial killer. Like I said, he can predict who's human, who's not. And how the police, this special force team, how they're trying to scan point where there's this one building, like the town hall, where there's a point where they scan people, like who's human, who's not. And then it's a point where they start shooting all the other parasites, including a couple of innocent civilians. And to the point where Goto kills a whole bunch of these police officers. And to the point there was the mayor, who's which you thought the mayor was a parasite because of the way his speech was, right? How his speech was given, but saying that he's one who's saying that the humans are the disease, not the parasites. We're the disease. So you get that thing of saying that humans are bad or humankind is bad, but it makes you wonder, like, for this how the story is told, is humans are bad or is the parasites are bad? Because parasites are basically, they're just following their own instincts, to feed, right? They're just following their instincts. But to them, humanity is like, they're a threat against us, so they must be eliminated. So that's what the mayor says, but then he ends up getting shot, but it turns out he was actually human. A human in league with the parasites. So yeah, but you get a lot of bloody deaths in this movie. Like, some people are getting shot at, they're getting torn apart by the parasites. Even everywhere, even at the school, where the point where Shinichi saves Murano by jumping out of a building from a high point. Like I said, this is where he gets some of that enhanced abilities, like a superhero, right? Because he can jump off from a 3-story building and land perfectly fine while he was carrying her. And like I said, this is all that just whereas this Murano is very concerned about Shinichi, how his behavior is, and to the point where towards the end, right, where saying that concerned about him, and eventually too they make out basically. Because there was even a funny point in the, what was it, the first episode, I think it was? Or was it the second, I forget, though, but Migi, he was telling Shinichi, what's it like, my senses tell me that you want to mate with this girl. Yeah, that was kind of funny. So they said, he wants to mate with this girl. What Migi was saying, he was interested about the human human sexual desire of human mating. I thought that was kind of funny too. So yeah, but eventually the two, they do it, and afterwards, towards at the end, where Shinichi fights Goto very, very hard, right? Where there's a temporary part where Migi thought he was dead because he disarmed him. He detached himself from Shinichi, but he was actually fighting within him, within Goto, and eventually he gets defeated. Because even though Shinichi did not want to kill him, because it was a life though. But regardless, if he did, he was gonna go. Goto would just go back and just bring himself back right up, put himself back together, and then start killing more people. So he had to end his life. So, and until the end, where Shinichi and Murano, they're on a date, and then the serial killer Origami, who got away from the police, kidnaps Murano until he kills 2 more people, and he holds her by They go on the top of a roof, and he holds her at by knife point right here, asking Shinichi. He gets answers that it's not from any human. What is your connection between you and the Parasyte? Basically, it's saying that he's the one who's following his human instincts. But Murrow's saying that you're the monster. You're no better than the Parasytes were. And before that, like I said, the relationship between Shinichi and Migi was really well done. I enjoyed the relationship that these two had with each other. It was also a sad point at the end where you think that Migi is gonna die, or you think he was gonna be dormant now, so they can get his right hand back. Otherwise, he's still there, but he is technically shut down. He shuts himself down permanently, basically. He's going to be laying there dormant in his hand forever now. So that way Shinichi can get his hand back and do things on his own now, without his help. Which, that was kind of a sad thing. He's seeing it like in his dream or anything, saying, I'm just going to, I'll probably still be here, but I'll just be dormant now. Which, that was a sad scene. Because these two have been through so much together, and now he's gonna, be like in a permanent sleep now. And get to the point at the end with Origami, where he throws her off the roof, and Shinichi sucker punches him, and where you think that Shinichi was too late and he didn't grab her in time, and then he has a vision of Migi again saying, you know what? I'm kind of tired. You can hold on to her for now. But when he opens his eyes, he is holding Murno with his right arm, with his right hand. So you think that Migi did this one last thing for him, and saved her. So now that he can pull him up himself now, and that's what after he said, "Thank you, Migi." So I think that's what I think that Migi helped him out that one last time by saving Murno. That's why he said, "Oh, I'm tired. You can hold on to her now. You can do it yourself." So, yeah. So Parasyte, I really love the series. And also that I've mentioned that I did get the Japanese live action movie, which there was definitely there was a lot of differences from the Japanese movie to the anime series. There was definitely a lot of differences that I can compare it to. Sorry about that though, but I know there's comparisons for the movie to the differences between the movie and the anime. So I'm just making comparisons though. But besides all that, Parasyte Maximum, I really love this series. But I don't think I would have put it on my list of favorite animes. Because I enjoy the concept and the story. Like I said, it's like a little bit of superhero because with what happened with Shinichi, what it gets some of the abilities he has, and like I said, a little bit of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a way. So for a horror anime series, I really enjoyed it. The animation was solid. Characters I enjoyed. Like I said, the design of the Parasytes, I thought they were cool looking. Like with Tomorrow, the very intelligent one. Like I said, experience about how humanity is, and then Goto, the superhuman or the superpowered Parasyte as well. Shinichi and Migi, the relationship, the chemistry they have with each other I really enjoyed until the sad part where Migi was kind of saying goodbye at the end. I really enjoyed the chemistry between with Shinichi and Migi, and with Murano, with her relationship with Shinichi. Like I said, be able to make a plan about her though, but from my vantage point, that because she's like very strained about what's going on with Shinichi, how he turning from originally from a sort of a nerd, naive, shy guy to all of a sudden his changed all this area, seeing him being a little bit cold, distant, creepy. especially what that we did with that puppy and all that. And just seeing her how the relationship was being a bit strained because of this. And yeah, I thought the relationship of our three leads there, so. And the score I enjoyed, especially that one piece of the score by the name Bliss. It was going do 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 do. I can't do it though, but it was called Bliss though, and I really enjoyed that piece of music from the score. The intro, I really like the song for the intro of the series. I really like that song. And as for the ending song, I like the ending song as well for the series, but I think the opening song was better. But yeah, Parasyte, I really love the series. Like I said, it's gory, it's definitely for the kills, definitely bloody, concept story characters. Also the story of the pack, is humans either which side. It depends on which side is good. Is the parasites are bad, or is the humans are bad, or is it the other way around? So, but I really love this series, and one more I can say about. Well, I think I can say about Parasyte. I really enjoy the series. So yeah. So that's my review on Parasyte the Maxim, or just short. Just go by Parasyte. Yeah, I really love the series. It's a very entertaining series. And anything else before I go? Anything I miss? Probably not. I'll probably forget after when this video is done. I don't know. That always happens. But yeah, that's my review on Parasyte. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next review for Anime Month. Later.